Okay, this one's a long one. My question is, at what point do you decide to call it quits on a marriage instead of trying to make it work? Is there a line in the sand, so to speak, or does it depend on how much you're willing to put up with while working on it? Also, how do you bring up thoughts of divorce with family members? Do you expect them to get the hint when you just show up alone at holidays? Thanks in advance.
Oof.
That one's deep. That's a little different.
Deep one.
You know what? Just do it. Just do it. Just leave in the middle of the night. Don't leave a letter.
Here's
Go,
the thing.
run, rob a bank.
Have you seen the movie The War of the Roses?
Yes.
I love it. It's such a great movie. I know a big Beverly Hills divorce lawyer.
Ooh.
A big one.
Wow.
Who has a firm and everything. Maybe I'll come on. I don't know. But here's what I would say, because I still remember that, like the opening scene in The War of the Roses and stuff like that. It's like, can you remember at all why you fell in love or why it did work or what you liked about each other? And I feel like that's important. And is any of that still alive? And maybe it is and maybe it's not. Is it worth working towards that? How good was it when it was good? And can you get back there? And like and how long is that journey, you know? And are the things that are impacting your relationship, are they external? Like, is it money? Is it this? Is it that? Is it other things? Or is it the actual love you have for each other is kind of eroding? Or is it these other? So I think if you isolate some of these external factors that may be fucking you up and go, all right, we need to tackle these things, then does your relationship repair? You know, I think it's a personal distinction, but I think figuring out why it's going wrong, and then also conversely going, why was it good? Why did we get married?
Well, I think a lot of people get married to fill up their life equation where they're like, okay, well, now we buy a house. Now we have the picket fence.
Still,
now we do this.
Even in that cynical way to look at it, which I agree with you, there's still a reason you go with somebody. Even
because
if
they ask.
Well, but there's still a reason. There's still a reason that somebody goes on. Even if it's a glorified roommate, there's a reason you choose your roommate.
Yeah.
So if what was it? Was the sex great? Was it that they had the same values that you did? You know. But I mean, as far as how you approach it with the family, I mean, you can't just start showing up alone. You got to sit down and have real conversations.
Well, in your Irish Catholic family, I'm Irish. I come from an Irish Catholic family also. They're not accepting at all.
They're not accepting at all, and they would rather you not bother them. So if they're going to see you 2 or 3 times a year at Christmas, it's almost like they'd rather you walk in with that person and just fucking pretend.
Yes.
But fuck them. But here's the deal. At the end of those...
I go every holiday with all my husbands.
Yeah. It's a bus. She has a bus.
Well, no, but don't you think that if you even mention divorce to the family, it's out there?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have to know you're getting divorced. You can't just be like, hey, kids, yeah, we might be we're thinking about a divorce. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? Because once it's out there, then you're fucked. Everyone thinks it's over. Like,
people know there's a rumbling, there's a grumbling.
Yeah.
I feel like Dr. Seuss. There's a talking, there's a walking. No, people know. And listen, here's the deal. You got to take care of your kids. And that's the important thing. It's not about what your fucking sister thinks or what your mother and father thinks.
Yeah.
Your main concern is your children and yourself, your health and their health and your ability to care for them. So whatever arrangement or situation works best for you, if it's not letting the family in on too much until you're ready, and that's better for everybody involved, then that's great. And you don't want your kids getting flooded with fucking Facebook messages. You know, social media now, people can reach out. Like, the last thing a kid needs before a kid knows what's going on, the last thing he needs is an aunt or an uncle reaching out and going, hey, buddy, I heard there's some issues.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Your mom's on Instagram with 3 other guys.
Your mom's there's a picture of your mother on Instagram sucking a cock.
Yeah.
And it's not your dad's cock. And we know. So
we think something's up.
The last thing you need, I think you need, I think you need to control the situation to the extent that you can for the benefit of the most, of your family unit.
Yes, I feel like some people talk too much also. Like, if you're having small problems, they go immediately to your family, and then it taints the relationship between you and your mate. And then,
to my mother's credit, she used to never talk about divorcing my father because she was always busy talking about why Uncle Carl was in the KGB.
Yeah, that's good.
Even though he was German, she felt he'd been recruited by the KGB at a young age. And my grandfather said she probably isn't wrong. But I don't know. It's a tough thing. Families are all tough.
But yeah. Do you feel like it would have been better at your bar mitzvah if your parents came out as divorced?
No. I think it was good that they hid it. I mean, I think looking back,
They
because
say
it would have been
we're young young and we don't know. We won't find out about this divorce until a year from now.
I got you, babe.
I got you, babe.
I got the kids in therapy.
Well, so at what point do you call it quits? So when you go and you assess everything and you're like, this just is not going to work.
Is it worth
irreparable?
I think it's a thing about worth and value.
How many Beanie Babies do you still have?
How many? But it's like, is it worth it to save it? And what is the value of that person in your life?
Is he rich?
Is that motherfucker?
Am I gonna win?
I also think if you're getting married for love, you're an idiot. I think you need to get married
But there's plenty of marriages that fall apart that people are wealthy.
I knew a woman named Lisa. She turned to me once. We used to drink martinis all the time. I was in 12th grade with my friend's mothers. And she looked at me. She goes, I married Tom for very practical reasons.
Yeah.
And they are divorced now. But listen. It was very amicable, and they made a great fortune together. And they had 2 beautiful kids. And I don't even know if they're officially divorced. I think they're like fucking making it work kind of weird way. Like, listen, money, baby.
So you really think, and you really do think, if your parents were wealthy,
yes,
that you'd be fine.
I don't think I'd be fine, but I think that they would have had a shot. I think poor people don't have a shot.
Do you feel like,
be honest,
but
even
you don't
if they
think
love
that poor people then they
I
love?
think Cinderella and the prince are poor. You're done.
Yeah.
Year 6, start fighting about dominoes. I don't want banana peppers. You know?
Yeah.
Can you see that fucking fairy tale? He's working 3 jobs at Walmart. She's filling out fucking Medicare.
All 3 are at Walmart?
Yeah. Because that's the only place that she's filling out Medicare paperwork.
Yeah.
They have I mean, listen, fucking, we're looking out at the greatest city in the world. I'm looking at the Empire State Building. I'm looking at Flatiron Building. I'm looking at iconic pieces of real estate as I say this. But, building something with somebody else is a lot more than just,
Where were you? Where were you before I got married?